What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and the Senate, they are in a mad rush to try to get that infrastructure bill done, the first portion for traditional infrastructure and the second portion for more stimulus. This is your stimulus check update and your stimulus package update. Now, you guys, I'm going to get you caught up as to where things currently stand, but what we're hearing is right now they have introduced the amendment process, and there is literally over 250 amendments, something close to 300. And this is what we heard from Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. Go ahead and take a look.
I'd encourage senators from both sides of the aisle to submit potential amendments to the bill. And as we have already done several times this year, on the Anti-Asian Hate Crimes Bill and the U.S. Innovation and Competition Act, just to name two examples, the majority will work with the minority to put together packages of amendments for the Senate to vote on. At the moment, we need consent from our Republican colleagues to start the amendment process, and we await their answer. I hope we can use our time in the Senate efficiently. Let's start voting on amendments. The longer it takes to finish the bill, the longer we'll be here.
So you heard him say that the longer it takes them to get through all these amendments, the longer they'll be here. They're not going to be leaving on recess until they get through all of it. And you guys, we're hearing that they're going through, and take a look at this. This one made headlines. Senate rejects GOP effort to add Trump border wall to bipartisan infrastructure deal. That was one of the amendments they tried to include. It got rejected. But right now we're hearing they're going through each and every one of these, voting on whether or not they're going to be including amendments in these bills. Now, I'll be sure to dive into this article that just recently came out to get you caught up on the latest. Take a look. Senate slowly presses forward on bipartisan infrastructure bill. Now, we're also hearing that right now there's a lot of concern about, will we need more stimulus, more unemployment extensions, more stimulus checks, more provisions to help out people through this time? Because take a look here. You can go ahead and Google this. Anybody can. Just U.S. cases happening right now. And you can see that as of August 3rd, 2021, we are on a steady incline, a significant one. And a lot of people are saying this is in the middle of summer due to this Delta variant. We had on August 3rd 150,000 new cases in the U.S. and you can see that that curve is trending up pretty high. So you guys, we're going to be seeing what unfolds here, but if we keep going on this route, you can see that we're pretty much on our way up to the peak that we saw back in the winter time of last year. And like I said, this isn't even flu season, this is summertime. So we will see. I'll be sure to keep you up to date on whatever unfolds, but you guys, we're going to dive right in and let you know what's happening with this current infrastructure bill to provide more infrastructure spending and more stimulus. So going to dive right in, get you caught up on the latest as of today, August 5th, 2021. But before we do, if you could do me a quick favor, just takes a second. If you like and appreciate these updates, keeping up to date on everything happening with stimulus, Congress, the economy, unemployment, don't forget to take a second to smash that like button. I would appreciate it. It really helps out the channel a ton and just takes a second. Thank you guys so much. And if this is your first time here and you want to stay up to date on all this stuff, don't forget, hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, and you can come join the Ram fam, join the viewing community, and I'll keep you up to date. And if you got any specific questions that you want answered, don't forget to shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3, which is by far the best way to get a hold of me if you got any specific questions that you want me to answer. But with that being said, you guys, let's dive right in, and I'm going to get you caught up on the latest as to what's happening today with infrastructure, all these amendments, and when we might finally have this bill done. All right, you guys, so as always, link in the description below to this article so that way you can read it for yourself and see that Steve is not just making random stuff up. Now, the article says, Senate slowly presses forward on a bipartisan infrastructure bill. This just came out yesterday. Now, the article says the Senate is slowly inching closer to a final vote on a roughly $1 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill as debate on amendments to the proposal continues, and Republicans urge their Democratic colleagues to not move too quickly. But what we're hearing is Democrats are saying, move quickly, because the Republicans are saying this is one of the most historic infrastructure bills that we have seen, and we don't want to rush the process. And Democrats are saying, no, we need to get this done, rush it. Now, the Senate has so far considered 8 amendments to the plan. Now, I hope that that is ones that have been approved that they're thinking about adding, not just they have gotten to 8 out of 250 something. But it says, which they will provide $550 billion in new spending to revitalize the nation's physical infrastructure. The upper chamber is poised to consider another substantial tranche of amendments yesterday. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said that though an agreement on the total number of amendments to weigh has not yet been reached, The Senate is moving full steam ahead on the bipartisan infrastructure bill, and the New York Democrats said in remarks on the Senate floor, adding that they're, quote, making great progress on amendments, and we're going to be making further progress very soon. It's unclear when Schumer will move to bring the amendment process to close, but Republicans on Tuesday urged him not to act too fast or he would risk losing their support for ending debate, which requires 60 votes. This is an extremely important bipartisan bill. There's an excellent chance that it will be a bipartisan success story for our country, said Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell on Tuesday. To try to truncate the amendment process on something of this magnitude, I think is a mistake. So they're saying that this is going to be a huge historic infrastructure package, and they want to make sure they take into consideration all of the amendments, and they don't want to rush the process. But like I said, Democrats are saying, no, we need to get this done. And also, we have heard that the stimulus package of $3.5 trillion, that must be ready and accompany that infrastructure bill, that they have to pass them tandem, that they're going to have this one ready in the Senate, the infrastructure bill, and then also that stimulus package, pass them both, and then move them on to the House. Otherwise, we've already heard members of the House, Pramila Jayapal, Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, say that if you just send one, if you just send that infrastructure bill, we're just going to have it sit there until you get that stimulus package ready. That this is a tandem deal. Both have to go through. So they are working right now just on the amendments for the first portion of the infrastructure bill for infrastructure, roads, bridges, highways. They now need to turn their attention to the $3.5 trillion and then pass them both together. So we will see. Hopefully they can move this process along. But in the meantime, this is where things currently stand. Now, reading on, it says, McConnell said that senators, no, they will be in Washington next week to take up the separate $3.5 trillion budget resolution, which provides the blueprint for a broader spending package, and advised Schumer that slow and steady wins the race. So he's saying, we know we're going to be here next week, that we're not going to meet the deadline, and we're going to be focusing on that $3.5 trillion, but slow and steady wins the race. We want to make sure we take our time and do this right. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Now, reading on, it says the Senate began considering amendments to the bipartisan infrastructure bill Monday after the group of senators negotiating the proposal released its legislative text Sunday night. Now, while some of the Senate negotiators said Sunday that they hope to pass the measure by the end of the week, those plans appeared derailed. More than 300 amendments to the bipartisan bill have been filed as of midday Wednesday, though not all will get a vote. So I stand corrected. There's actually over 300 different amendments that have been presented. Now, Schumer on Tuesday urged Republicans and Democrats to work together on the amendment process and reiterated that senators would remain in Washington until they pass both the bipartisan bill and the budget resolution, aka that stimulus package of $3.5 trillion. So they need to pass both of these together. Now, the bottom line is this. The Senate can work through the amendments rather efficiently when we have cooperation between the majority and the minority, Republicans and Democrats in the Senate, as we have had in the bipartisan legislation. It can go rather slowly, of course, without cooperation. In either case, the Senate is going to stay here until we finish our work. So you guys, hopefully this goes quickly. We will see. Hopefully they get through everything, get it done right. But they're saying that they're going to stay in session until they get it all done. So you guys, that's where things currently stand as of today in Congress regarding the infrastructure bill, passing it for traditional infrastructure and human infrastructure, more stimulus. Now, I'll be sure to keep you up to date. There have been new talks about providing stimulus checks. There have been some proposals released. There's more information coming out. Now, as it currently stands, that $3.5 trillion, the second portion of the infrastructure bill for human infrastructure or stimulus, does not have a check included, but we will see what gets included because, as I mentioned, right now the Delta variant is spreading at an incredible pace, and we could see what's going to happen. Now, we already have heard from members of Congress saying that they believe, progressives, that this $3.5 trillion is merely a down payment of what's to come, and they're saying that we are nowhere near done with this pandemic, and that we're going to need a lot more stimulus, and stimulus is going to be on the way. Now, I'll be sure to keep you guys up to date as to whatever unfolds here on the channel, so that way you know what's happening with stimulus, unemployment, Congress, and the economy. And you guys, As always, thank you so much for joining me here on the channel. If you made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget to smash that like button. I would appreciate it. Just takes a second. It helps me out a ton. And also, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the notification bell if this is your first time here. Come join the Ram fam. And I'll keep you up to date on everything that's going on. And be sure to shoot me any DMs with any questions that you got on Instagram at SteveRam3. But with that being said, you guys, hope this reaches you well. Like I said, I'll keep you up to date. Catch me in the next videos at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Monday through Friday, and also random videos throughout the day as news breaks. But like I said, hope this reaches you well. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.